Greetings, kindred spirits, and welcome to all the new subscribers. I did put out a message on the horoscopes that I did for the last full moon regarding giving you all free information on your 13 star sign, sun, moon and ascendant, and any other star signs in your chart that I feel would be relevant for you to take note of when you are reading your 13 star sign horoscopes. But what I didn't do was timestamp it, so I'm not sure how many of you heard that message. So I'm mentioning it again just to let you know that I will be doing this live on my Facebook page, Star 13 Star Sign Astrology, and the link for that is in the description box below. I know a few of you thought I was doing it on YouTube live, but I'm actually doing it on my Facebook page. Only because that's, I've got quite a platform there as well. So please do find me there if you're interested in knowing your sun, moon and ascendant in 13 star signs. I have now made a date for this transmission, and that will be Thursday the 7th of March at 9 p.m. in the GMT time zone. So for those of you that live in a different time zone, you can either look it up online to see what time that will be for you. But if you're not sure how to do that, or you'd like to message me for that information, then please do reach out and just tell me your area and country, and I can send you that information, like what time it will be in your time zone. I am also very aware that many don't like to give out their personal details publicly. So I am suggesting that you send your details through private message. There's a private message link on my FB page. And once I've given you your information, you are more than welcome to delete that message. But please note, I can only give you your ascendant star sign if you have your time of birth. But for those of you that don't have that information, then not a problem, because just knowing your true sun and moon sign will be just as beneficial when it comes to reading your horoscopes. And also, if I feel there's another house that is quite active or relevant to you, I can give you the information of that star sign as well. But I can go more into depth on the Facebook Live anyway. As I give you your information, I'll explain why it's, those particular houses or star signs will be relevant to you. I will give you an example, actually. When it comes to me reading my own 13 star sign horoscope, I don't just read my sun sign. I also read my moon and ascendant, because they give me that extra little bit of insight in how the energies will be playing out in my life. And I just feel it's just another way of getting more information. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to doing that and speaking with you all. So back to the new moon. The new moon will begin on the 6th of March at 16:03 in the GMT time zone, at 11:03 in the EDT time zone, and will begin on the 7th of March at 3:03 in the AEDT time zone, and the new moon will take place in Aquarius in the true lifetime sky. Actually, the moon, sun, Neptune and Vesta will all be in a conjunction at 18 degrees. And I feel that a lot of situations in our lives have come to a head, especially when it comes to relationships that are intimate relationships and family dynamics. The most dominant energy this new moon is feminine. But I feel that the divine feminine is struggling under the present climate to keep going. She's done a hell of a lot of work through 2018 and has probably hit a brick wall when it comes to her spiritual growth. And she's now finding it hard to slow down or stop to catch her breath. She may also be feeling at a low ebb at this time, vulnerable and detached. So maybe it's time for her to take a step back so that the masculine can have the space needed to move forward now. He has evolved to a higher level of spiritual development. And I also feel that he's getting ready to rise up and meet her in sacred union with equal respect and to offer her some fun and playtime. So for those that are more in tune with their divine feminine, which is an energy, by the way, and not gender specific, because we all hold both these energies within us, I feel the divine feminine needs a little bit of healing. So I just feel she needs to kind of tap a little bit more into her masculine. I think I actually did say on the full moon that, you know, the masculine needs to soften, but the feminine needs to strong up. And I just feel that, you know, the feminine's probably struggling because she's just been going. And, you know, she's just probably just set in that zone now. So, I feel also that many have reached some aha moments where certain realizations have become quite clear. But depending on where we're at on our spiritual path, these epiphanies may be quite overwhelming and hard to digest, especially since Mercury is in full swing of his retrograde mode and in conjunction to Chiron. So the revelations and self-reflections throughout the next 2 weeks will tend to be very deep and repetitive. But the one thing we must be aware of is that we will be viewing old situations from our own perception, and this is where things could get tricky. Actually, even for those of us that are spiritually evolved, will find that this time is not a walk in the park, because there is a very thin line between psychic vision and imagination. So we have to be careful to acknowledge that there will be a tendency with these planet placements for illusions and self-delusion to take place. And that's not just regarding ourselves, it's also regarding our view of another. Because facing the truth may be a little bit too overwhelming, or we could be just a little bit too blindsided. And I guess this is more to do with intimate relationships, although it could be also regarding friends and family members. So I would definitely suggest that we work on our heart chakras and solar plexus throughout this time, because for some the emotional and nervous energy coming in will be off the scale at times, which will affect the way we communicate. Others may just detach and go into bouts of depression and melancholy, which can actually be more dangerous, as this can tend to lead them into self-sabotage, although detaching from the outside world may be necessary for us to integrate and heal the revelations that have taken place. And we can do that by indulging into our craft or our art to help us get in touch with our creative side, which is also our masculine side, and release any stagnancy that hinders our sense of fun. We must also protect our auras, especially if we're an empath, which actually most of us are, if not all. Because for those that are on an emotional roller coaster, you know, they will be emitting a very heavy energy or verbally offloading, while others will want to retreat and find solace in their own company. You know, issues of commitment and freedom are still ongoing since, you know, the full moon that took place in February. Jupiter in Ophiuchus is exposing those who are egoistical and self-absorbed. But we must consider why they are behaving that way, because like I said, these energies will affect us all in different ways, so many misunderstandings can take place under these transits, due to our different needs and ways of coping with emotional wounds. Because Mercury being in conjunct to Chiron will, you know, for those of us that have still got old stuff to deal with, that's going to be surfacing. For others, it's like reflecting on our healing abilities and what our next steps should be. Many will feel emotionally shut down and inadequate, and at a loss with their direction or ability to be of service, because there is also a realization for some that certain others are needy and draining and can really only help themselves. But it can also be hard to let go, because 9 times out of 10 it's likely to be someone very close to our hearts, or it's down to a feeling of commitment, loyalty, or obligation. We must realise that addiction and escapism comes in all forms, but at the root of them all is the same issue, which is basically a lack of self-love and self-value, and we can only find that within ourselves, no matter how often we are told how beautiful, talented or loved we are. Some must also beware of dangerous liaisons. All relationships should be based on equality and healthy boundaries. Although the goddess Juno is considered to be the loyal and faithful partner, she is also very subservient and loyal to those who abuse her. And since she is involved in a T-square, in which our Moon, Sun, Neptune and Vesta are in the firing line of, there may be a tendency to blind ourselves to the true reality of our situations, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. I feel more so for relationships that are new and fresh, where we can easily assume that our connection to someone is more than what it actually is. So we must make sure that the person we're involved with feel the same way. And for those of us in long-term partnerships, it could be that our partners are not losing interest in us. It's probably a time for us to kind of step back and realise that they just need time to sort through their own stuff. A lot of them may be dealing with turmoils, emotional turmoils of childhood conditionings. Although it's not all bad, we do have Mars and Saturn in sextile to our Moon, Sun, Neptune and Vesta, which brings in opportunities towards self-empowerment. And, we can develop personal strength by being of service to others and speaking our truth in a place of unconditional love. I don't talk much about Neptune because I keep forgetting actually, and I guess that is definitely Neptune's influence. His energy is very nebulous, neither here nor there. Actually, Neptune is transiting Aquarius, and as I pointed out, is in conjunct to our Moon, Sun and Vesta. Neptune has been in Aquarius for quite a few years now, and has been a big part of our spiritual evolution. In Aquarius, he's giving us the gift of revelation and how important it is for us to work together as a collective. He will move into his own sign of Pisces in 2022, where his work with the Aquarian energy will be done. So I really do feel that's why our spiritual evolution is speeding up now, because one, in the true lifetime sky, Uranus has moved into Aries, which, by the way, Uranus is now at 1 degree, which shows that a shift is taking place. And secondly, because Neptune is in the latter degrees of Aquarius, which shows that the old way is coming to a head, so that the new can rise. Neptune in Aquarius has been very revealing, especially when it comes to our old beliefs around love, spiritual values, and the future of our planet and mankind's part in it. This new moon is encouraging us to think outside the box and leave the past behind. Easier said than done, I know, but this is the theme of this new moon. Off with the old and on with the new. And we can help this along by raising our vibration and allowing ourselves to have time to ourselves for fun and creativity. So for this new moon in the next 2 weeks, I suggest that we take the time needed to work on our own self-nurture by creating, crafting, singing and dancing. This will help to release and shake off any pent-up energy. In meditation, I would suggest that we take note of our heart chakra and solar plexus. I think concentrating on these areas particularly will help to balance out the throat chakra, although I would take note of that too. I suggest that we burn a black candle first, then a white, yellow and light green candle after, and maybe even a pink one. The black to absorb negative or old energy, and the others after to bring in the freshness of purity, clarity and healing. And, I just feel rainbow colours at the moment as well will be very kind of uplifting. I recommend that we continue to use sage for cleansing and lavender, sandalwood or frankincense and myrrh. But of course, for those of you that have your own rituals to follow, please do follow your own. I would suggest though that it's done on a regular basis, daily if possible. But I think expressing ourselves creatively will be the most beneficial activity throughout this time, or learning something new that is uplifting and fun. I also recommend Steve Noble's 333 Galactic Portal Meditation, and as usual I will post a copy of this link on my Facebook page. So I'd like to say to everyone, thank you so much for your love and support. I have been kept busy with readings over the last few weeks, which has been fantastic, and I am going to be taking a trip away next week, and I am planning on visiting Glastonbury with a friend so we can get some further healing. I'm also planning to do another transmission while I'm down there with another soul sister of mine, Kathleen. I know Catherine Kinney has done another transmission regarding the 3-3 portal energy, so please do check that out on her page. If you don't know that, I will link it, but she's on my page anyway, you can find her there. And yes, good luck with the new moon and keep your hearts open. Peace, much love.